Hello everyone and welcome to the Survivor Savant podcast. I'm your host Nathan Newport, the self-proclaimed Survivor Savant himself, and today we are talking about the very first episode of Survivor Marquesas. Season 4 out of 47 seasons so far of this television show that we all love called Survivor. And this season we get to do something that we haven't done in a while. Instead of going into some other hot desert or like area, we instead go back to the beach. And the reason why, it's definitely kind of surprising to everybody, but it's definitely smart decision on the production team standpoint. So originally, this season wasn't actually going to be filmed in the Marquesas. This season was actually supposed to be filmed in Saudi Arabia, in the country of Jordan, and it was going to be filmed in like a desert, and really definitely continue to focus more on like the desert-like environment, see how hot the temperature will be for the castaways, but unfortunately and sadly, there was an incident that occurred when the production team was thinking about filming in that location. It was September 11th, 2001, and of course, the Twin Towers got hit, and the attack on September 11th was definitely something that changed us all, and due to the constant issues that were going on over there in the East Arabia, and having to deal with some issues that have been going on, the production team has decided to not film in Jordan, and then agreed that we need to go somewhere else, and they settled on filming in Nuku Hiva in Tahiti, aka Marquesas. So, like the title of this episode says, we go from the desert and back to the beach, which Back to the Beach is actually the name of this episode. So we start off in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, where the castaways are aboard this fishing trawler, and taking them to their drop-off location, and where they'll be forced to fend for themselves. Now, during Jeff's speech about how this new group of castaways and how they're currently below deck and are waiting and ready to get this game started, we see some of them are sitting and staying still. Well, some of them a little bit seasick. One of them was even throwing up in a bucket, which I can already imagine was really hard to deal with. But this season, there is going to be something new. When the castaways are divided into their tribes and they're given their crates of supplies, there won't be any food rations along with it. Instead, there will be just 2 machetes, 3 pots, 2 water containers, 1 fillet knife, one magnifying glass. I don't know what I'm doing this with my fingers. So there'll be 2 machetes, 1 fillet knife, 2 or 3 cooking pots, 2 water containers, and 1 magnifying glass. And that's it. That's all they have. They're gonna have to go out and find their own food source or water source in order to last as long as they can out here. And this environment is really harsh. Not only is there a beautiful landscape, but there's also some really dangerous wildlife, especially in a water, because it's hard to imagine, and with dealing with some sharks out there, along with and other sorts of sea life. But these castaways are really determined to make sure that they could really go find what they need out there. So we then get into the intro. Now every season, and they do a new thing with the intro. And this season they include a lot of like Tahitian and how do I say this? They include a lot of like Tahitian, a lot of Polynesian, and like vocal noises, and we then got that like tribal drum going in there, and I don't know, it was really cool. Plus the scenery that they used to make up that intro. And when they ended the intro with the Survivor Marquesas logo, and what looked to be like, it was like what's the word, where it's like etched into something, but they didn't use like a Dremel. I think that's what it is, a Dremel. They like edged a Dremel or some kind, and edged the logo into this like clam or shell something, because it looked really cool. Like I was really stunned to see that. And but with that said, let's get into the game. So this season, same like always, we have 2 tribes, teams of 8. So 16 people are divided into 2 tribes of 8. We have row 2, which is the Tahitian word for rain, and Mara'amu, which is the Tahitian word for wind. Now, on the row 2 tribe, which will always wear blue, we have Kathy Vavrick O'Brien, who is a real estate agent from Vermont. We have Gabriel, who is a bartender from North Carolina. We have Tammy, who is a crime reporter from Arizona. Pascal English, who is a judge from Georgia. Then we got Nalia, who is a student from Utah. We got John, who is a registered nurse from Omaha, Nebraska. Then we got Zoe, who is a fishing boat captain from Maine. And then finally we got Robert, who is a limousine driver from Queens. Now Robert sometimes will call himself the general, even though I don't think he's actually served in the military before. So just to let you guys know, that's what his nickname is. So if you hear anybody calling him the general, well, that's why. Next up, we have Mara'amu, which will always wear yellow, which consists of Gina, who is a nature guide from Gainesville, Florida. Sean Rector, who is a school teacher for Harlem. I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying that. Harlem, New York. Then we got Sarah, who is a account manager from California. Rob Mariano, a construction worker from Canton, Massachusetts. Then we got Pacipia Towery, who is a office manager from California. We got Peter Harkley, who is a bowling alley owner from Massachusetts. Then we got Patricia, who is a truck assembler from South Carolina, I believe. And then Hunter Ellis, who is a FedEx pilot from California. Now, if one of those names sounds familiar to you guys who are Survivor fans, Rob Mariano is that particular name that is most noticed in this season. And the reason why is because Rob Mariano is one of the people who is best known in the Survivor community and is considered to be a legend. And this was the season he got a start on. Now, there's another certain nickname and he earns and, well, not necessarily earn, but he necessarily is called by that name. His nickname is Boston Rob. Now, Boston Rob was one of the all-time classic. I wouldn't say classic because that's assuming that he's old. Boston Rob is somebody who's definitely legendary and popular when it comes to reality television. And seeing him get his start on Survivor and seeing how different he looked back then versus now is really crazy and a sight to see. But let's get straight into it. Let's get straight into the game. So we see both the castaways row in the lifeboats that and they're inflatable lifeboats. Like they're square inflatable lifeboats that they have to row themselves on and also put their crate in. And row 2 was able to get to their camp safe and sound, even though they were struggling, while in the waters. I mean, those are some harsh waters to be rowing in. Then we get into Mariamu, and they successfully made it to their camp in their boat. But as everybody was hard at work making sure that they get there, like some were rowing and some were kicking, Sarah was like sitting on a raft doing nothing but saying like row, row, and kick, like she was trying to motivate them, but she wasn't actually doing anything at all. And Sean Rector even commented on the fact that Sarah's entrance was like Cleopatra, like she was leaning back on the raft with her legs and her boobs hanging out and her golden locks and looking all dashing and debonair, like a scene from Egypt. Like, and Sean was like, "Say that, man. This is Survivor. Ain't nobody here for that." So they get to the beach, and immediately Sean was like so whooped out and felt like that was a hard journey to get through, and really thankful to get there, man. He felt that being a religious person, that being a religious person, he felt that God definitely helped him get across that water, because it was definitely hard to get through. Like he lifted them and got them to the beach. And a lot of people, I mean, mostly Peter, definitely took notice of that and were like, gave him a hug, and they joined hands together as Sean was praising God, and Rob was taking notice of this, and he definitely didn't. I mean, don't get me wrong, Rob's a Christian person too. He goes to church, but when he saw Sean dramatically, he praising God like he was saving him from being drowned to death, and I don't know, he just felt like both him and Peter had lost their rocks or something, to put it gently. I know Sean was okay, I say this with all due respect, and I'm just trying to repeat it as best as I can and to what Sean was saying. He hadn't been out in the ocean before, and growing up in the hood, they didn't really have a lot of swimming pool. Also, they didn't really swim that much, he said. So he was definitely not had like good friends with water. And that's such a stereotypical thing to say, but it's what he says, man. It's what he says. Anyway, they both open their crates, both tribes, and they soon find that, oh crap, where's the food? We were supposed to have food with this stuff. But no, they had to go get on their own along with water. Uh, bummer. Okay, to be real, nowadays on Survivor, we're not really given any much options as far as food goes. Like in the current era, we just get one pot, one machete, one flint, and that's it. And we would have to go and find some source of food for ourselves in order to stay up to full strength, but or whatever running fumes we have in our body. And I mean, we do have water wells that we would go to if we were wanting water, but we still need to like boil it. No, that's not the case for this tribe though. They have to go find some other source of water or some other source of food. I know they were hard at work trying to get their fire started with the magnifying glass that they had in order to light the fire, or whatever materials that they had that could make fire. But as much as they can hope on sunlight helping, the freaking clouds, man, they were like covering the sun, and just when they thought they were getting something, the sun goes out. That would be hard. For me though, I mean, like I said before in past videos, there have been many different ways you could start a fire, and it had worked for them in the past. You know, magnifying glass or glass is works as one. There have been cases where rubbing two sticks together would start a fire, and the whole wooden bow and stick trick with string, and as you're like motioning it to go back and forth, and as the stick moves itself, if it's hopefully getting smoke. And I know my dad, he said that when you put two hands together with the stick in between and start doing this, I don't know if I can do it with the mic in the way, but like, it's like this. When you put stick in between and just move your hands, and as the stick goes, it's starting to smoke up on the wood. Yeah, most of those tricks work, but yeah, definitely need to practice with flint in order to like make sure you last year out there with the fire. But Row 2 wasn't having much luck, and then over at Maramu, everybody was getting into materials, and they realized, oh no, we need to like get food or something, or like some kind of water source. And then of everybody, Hunter was somebody who kind of stepped up in that leader role. Said if we like set up like a banana leaf and have it as like a funnel, then we'll be able to have rain coming by and just like pour water or so that and we can get clean water, or not have to worry about boiling it or something like that until they can get fire. And Sean was like, look at Mr. Survivor MacGyver over here. Or Mr. MacGyver, or I don't know. But Sean was definitely feeling like he knew that Hunter was trying to step up into the leader position because he's an alpha male, and so is Sean, and he ain't going to be somebody who wants to follow somebody and just because they're being told to do so. He's not like that. You know, he does what he wants and what he wants to do, and nobody's going to tell him what to do. And he's not going to take that from Hunter. But the one person who seems to be appreciating Hunter's leadership is Gina. You know, they both have a lot in common, and they definitely feel like they connect well with each other. Or maybe because Gina likes him. No, I'm kidding. But no, Gina seems to be the one who felt like, hey, Hunter is a good leader, and I'm sure there are plenty of other people who see that Hunter is trying to step up, and that's good for him. So they were trying to do the same thing too with the magnifying glass, trying to get the sunlight to burn the whatever. Like there's coconut husks that they use to like start the fire. So they were getting a lot of smoke, and then Hunter was trying to blow on it, hoping that something would spark. But he doesn't have really good breathing, apparently, as we learned from Peter, who not only is a bowling alley owner, but he is also yoga. He also who does yoga. So he says by breathing in from the diaphragm, he's able to release a lot more air that can much be better for getting something going without having to take a break. So Peter steps in and starts blowing on the husk, and with his yoga techniques starts blowing and blowing and until something just sparks and they got fire. It's a good thing you got a yoga instructor or yoga expert who's done who knows his breathing techniques, so that way we can start a fire. Good to have that. So we head back to row 2, and I'm not sure if it was the same day or not, but for row 2, they got Kathy O'Brien, who's trying to convince them or at least lead them into being the Kathy's also trying to be a leader. I'll say maybe that's shorten it. Kathy's also trying to be the leader, and she's telling them that we gotta get the fire started if we want to last longer out here. And she's even found a watering source for them, which admittedly is probably a really great water source. It's a waterfall, and everybody's happy to get the water from there, and they were having fun jumping in it and like it was a pool. And quite admittedly so, I would also have a lot of fun out there. If I was at a camp that was really close to a waterfall, I would have a blast. But she knows that this water isn't going to be safe enough to drink, and it definitely needs fire tending to. So the sooner they can start a fire, the better that they can start drinking water safely. And Gabriel notices that Kathy is kind of like the skipper, or the leader, who wants to be the one who knows what they're doing and wants to take charge of things. But Gabriel's like, we don't need that out here. And everybody was trying their hardest to start the fire, but does Kathy know that? No. She wants to don't get me wrong, Kathy's a great person. She absolutely wants to help in any way she can, and she's a good person at heart, but she comes across as too bossy to some people, and that's not a great way to start her off, especially on day 1 or day 2. It's not a good way to start off. And as much as Kathy can be helpful towards others, we still know that she's going to be looked at as the outsider because she's too bossy. And one of the people who definitely take notice of this is John. John was really pooped after the trying to find a water source and trying to get the fire started. He's tired, and he's done some work, and he just wants to rest right now. But Kathy isn't having it. They need the fire in order to survive out here. But John, having that Irish temper, was feeling like that he's being told to do something, when Kathy was like, no, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. But in reality, she kind of is. And just kind of steps away and was kind of hurt. But John, again, having that Irish temper, as he definitely wants to be motivated now into getting that fire, because he did feel bad about it, and he just really feels like he needs to start the fire in order to bring a lot more humility back into the camp. So with the sun being back out, he takes a magnifying glass and starts lighting up the coconut husk and keeps smoking, and then poof, got fire, and everybody's happy. Everybody's excited to finally get some fire, and now they feel motivated now more than ever. Even now that they heated water and John was offering the first drink, and Sean was off. Not Sean. John. John was offering the first drink to Kathy. He after motivating him to get the fire started. She was refusing, and he was like, "No, no, no! You lit a fire under my butt, and now we gotta drink this." Almost like this was your idea, and now let's commit to it. And little by little, Kathy was starting to show a lot warmer her side of her, and really starting to show that, hey, I may be bossy, but I'm still human, and I still like to laugh and have fun. So, starting to see like Row 2 starting to like get much better motivation now, and it's good to have that in your camp. It's good to have good vibes and good harmony with each other. And that way, we don't have to keep arguing with each other for the next 38 days or so. Nobody wants that. As much as this is a game, you still gotta live with each other. So as long as you know how to like do what makes people happy and be able to really do things that are fun for you, but also fun for them, and doing things that can make each other happy and keep the good vibes at a good level, then I'd say your game was pretty solid from there. Now, it's just like day 2, and Mar Amu, who is, they were able to find some fruit, and it's some kind of like citrus-like fruit. They cut into it, and it was actually really good. But as Rob was happy to have food, he knows that oh, by the way, they were able to find like a water source. It's a really hidden water source though. Like it's in the rocks. Like it's not like buried underneath the rocks, but you definitely have to move some rocks in order to like find a water source. And they were able to find it, so they were successful in getting a good water source to get drinks from, or boil some food. But as I was saying, Rob was glad that they had fruit to eat, but he needs to have some meat. Like, there's got to be some protein out there, which luckily, Tahiti is home to several pigs and chickens. So, as Rob was working, he heard some crowing, and he was like, did you hear that? Did you hear that gobbling? It sounded like a turkey. And I was like, ugh. Rob, that's not a turkey. And that is not a gobble. That's a crow. And that's a chicken or a rooster. Look, he's from Boston. He hasn't seen much of those. So, he goes into the jungle just to see where the chicken is, and him and Peter are chasing after it, and it was a rooster. And the rooster was like flying into the trees. I'm like, it's shocked me that rooster could fly. That thing took off like a 747 and just like vanished or something. And as Peter was trying to climb the tree just to get it, the chicken or the rooster just flew off, and which really bummed Rob out, because that was his shot at getting some protein. He wants some meat! As Arby's would say, Arby's, we have the meat! So, again, Rob was bummed, and even the girls kind of took a poke at Rob for not coming back with the chicken. But Hunter decides that, well, not decides, but Hunter lets Rob know that he thought that it was kind of a waste of energy to go out there and hunting some protein when he should be focused on doing the chores that they have to do, which are wood collecting, rock collecting, and overall just getting their camp maintained. And Rob was like, he knows that after that incident, or what Hunter just said, he feels like that he's probably going to be on the bottom now after that. So, best thing he can do is be the workhorse, or be the hard worker that he is, getting rocks and getting the wood, and overall just trying to start building his game from there, and hopefully it could evolve more after that. And then I know that Peter and Sean have been getting not real close, but they definitely saw that at they're definitely gonna be like, not like best bros or anything, but they seem like they would be best buds. Like Peter says that Sean reminds him of a couple of friends that he has back at home, and they're starting to talk more about their relationship with God and being spiritual, and it's nice to see some friendships forming. It really is. That's one thing I'm kind of hoping for if I'm on Survivor, though. I mean, it's a game. You don't want to be like the person to say, I want to be friends with everybody. Hey, and be on the other side like, I don't care about it anyway. Hey, you're all gonna get stabbed in the face or the neck or whatever. Like, as much as you want to play a game where the prize is $1 million, you know you're gonna be making relationships out there, and really genuine relationships. And I hope that I find that bind where I know that it'll be tough to switch on somebody who you found to be really nice since the past several days, but you know that in order to win, you have to get them out as soon as possible, because they are more likely to have a better chance of winning this game rather than you. So it really is hard. It really is difficult, and hopefully, if I ever do get to play that, it really wouldn't be that hard for me, but at the same time, I have a feeling it is going to be hard for me, and I won't even realize it. But as Peter kept talking about how good it is to connect with others, and he's talking to the whole tribe, not just to Sean, but he's talking with everybody, and how great it is just to connect with everybody and learn facts about everybody that we probably didn't even know about them. Like, he even mentions on the fact that we got 7 holes in our bodies. I'm like, huh? And at first, Rob was listening to him, thinking about when he hears how holy he is, he assumed that he was talking about his religion and or spirituality, but it turned out it was just referring to the holes in his body. And I'm like, what? This guy's a Fruit Loop. Like, he's that crazy. Okay. There's definitely going to be some personalities that you're going to have to deal with. Depending on, like, if you're a meat eater and you like to eat meat more, and you're dealing with a vegetarian, and you're probably going to clash. You're dealing with somebody who's a Republican. You're probably talking to somebody who's a Democrat. There's going to be some lines crossed there. But the one thing we got to find when it comes to, like, being on a beach with different people is common ground. And as much as you can hate somebody because they don't think just like you or see things differently as you still need to find common ground. And that's one thing that our world definitely lacks sometimes, is common ground, and how we can all relate or get along with each other much better, or if we just focus on the things that we like more than and what we don't like about each other. So that's something that definitely needs to be taken not just in consideration, but in life in general. And I know it's a game, but at the same time, that's definitely something that needs to be brought into. But we didn't get into late at night, and everybody's cozying around the fire, and Sarah in her bikini is just trying to get some eyes looking at her, and the sepia was like, Sarah is a sweet girl, and she I don't think she's meaning to like flirt with anybody or trying to like use her body as an advantage, but if you got it, flaunt it. And Sarah flaunts it so much. One guy he tries to get along with well is Boston Rob, and they decide to tip over the raft that they originally went into and just lay in it together. And they were talking about how after Rob got on it, Sarah like hopped on it, and at first it almost looked like she hurt herself, but she didn't. They then thought about adding water into the raft and let it soak in the sun and it could be like their own hot tub or something. I'm like, no, don't. That's a perfect bed that you don't need to like misuse for anything else. Let that just be a bed. Like, don't make it any harder than it has to be. Like, this is Survivor. We're not here for freaking Love Island or freaking Jersey Shore or whatever. Like, it's not that kind of show. But, you know, Sean definitely takes notices of this and feels like Sarah is not going to be much help to their tribe if they move any further with her. So, we get into the very first immunity challenge. Now both tribes have their tree mail, and in the form of a tree mail, they received this like small wooden outrigger canoe with the note attached to it. That immediately lets them know that the first challenge is gonna be like we gotta ride an outrigger canoe, and something like that. So we get to the challenge. It's set on the beach, of course. Both tribes are staying there, 8 strong. They're informed that this challenge includes fire and outrigger canoe. So for this challenge, they have to take their outrigger canoe and go across some obstacles and head into the water with their canoe. In the water are fire cauldrons, and they would need to take one of the torches to light them and head back to the beach. And once they head to the beach, they have to carry their outrigger canoe, and also will light torches as they go. The first tribe to make it with their outrigger canoe, and be able to light her barrel or urn with their tribe color on it, wins immunity. Now this immunity idol that they have is really cool. It's got that Polynesian tiki look, very cool. Love the patterns, and it definitely brings out the theme for the season. Now we're then informed that the losing tribe will have to go to tribal council, which is actually close by to where they are just now, and everybody's all prepared for it. They're ready to get started. Jeff says, "Survivor ready, go!" And they're all going. Everybody is hopping over obstacles, trying to carry that really heavy outrigger canoe and try to make it out into the water. Everybody was trying hard. I know there might have been some stumbles for most of them, and it seems like Mariamu, with the big strong guys that they have, including Hunter, Sean, and Rob, they might have seemed like they got in the lead because they're out there in the ocean, they're rowing their outrigger canoe, and they were able to get fire. But little as I just say that, Sarah, who's the one holding the torch, as she was trying to put it back, she drops the torch and the fire goes out. And Sarah then tries to put it back, and then they had to go back and light it. Just as they were doing that, Rotu got their flame. They started swimming with their outrigger canoe and trying to get it back to shore. So that seemed like a really bad thing to start for Maramu. And I know there are some weak players on their team that have been kind of hitting the roadblocks a little bit too much. Sarah's one of them. The other one's Patricia, the truck assembler. Patricia, aka Mom, definitely seemed like she's one of the weaker ones on her tribe, along with Sarah. But yeah, Row 2's lighting their torches and they're trying to make sure they stay ahead from Maramu. And they make it to the end, and Row 2 wins immunity. They are safe from tribal council. And unfortunately, Maramu has to go back to camp, and they have to decide who they think deserves to go home. Sucks for Maramu. And they get back to camp, and we see that Peter tries to like blah. I don't know why I'm having a hard time speaking right now. Maybe it's my neck collar. Who knows? But Peter decides to group together and say that we have to focus on making sure that the stronger stay in this game. So as much as he believes that she is a very nice person, Peter admits that they should get rid of Patricia because she's kind of holding them back. Which is sad to see Patricia hear that. She knows that she's not the youngest or the most athletic one out there, but she is the most enduring and could probably last longer if the challenge were to come. So there is that going for her. She doesn't feel like she's the weakest, but she definitely knows that she doesn't deserve to go home. And some people notice that too. And we're like, Peter's starting to seem like somebody who they can't really trust that much. Other than being off-putting because of his attitude and how he talks towards people and saying weird stuff. But he seems like he's not really taking things. He doesn't seem like somebody he's not here to be, how do I put this? He's not here to act as somebody who's all fun and outgoing and all that when he actually is. But he's starting to seem like he's more professional and ready to start the game right off the bat, and he doesn't really care about others that much. Like, they're starting to they feel like they can't trust Peter because of that. So I know some of the contestants were thinking about getting rid of Peter. However, one contestant in particular, Sean, he feels as though that Sarah should be going home because of how she flaunts herself and how she's Cleopatra and all that. And he's nothing against women, but it's fact that, I mean, it's not what I say, but Sean says that this tribe is stronger because we have a lot of athletic men, and they have the more strength than the women do, and it would be trouble for them to get rid of one of the guys this early on when they're still in the tribe stage of the game. And okay, as far as challenges go and tribe strengths and all that, I've learned since then tribe strength isn't just more than who's got the bigger muscles and who is more athletic than the other. Like, tribe strength can come from anywhere. It's not just athleticism. It could also come from your mind. It could also come from your soul, your passion, how much you're willing to put as much of yourself into this game as possible. And if you're not putting your full heart into this game, then you're not really trying as hard as you hope to be. So it's not just brute strength that ends up being your strength that makes your tribe stronger. There's other things that can make your tribe stronger too. You just don't know what it is until you get to know them. So we get to tribal council. Everybody's got their torches. They're lighting them up. Jeff asks them how things have gone since the past several days, and 3 days, not several. And Gina was then pretty evident, or maybe Vesepia was pretty evident, that Hunter seems like to be the leader that they need on their tribe. And, you know, he seems like he has the most experience in this field, and he knows his outdoor skills, and he's definitely somebody you need to keep around a lot longer. And there's few people here who they know that if they stay around a lot longer, then it's just going to hinder their tribe. But they only need to get rid of one person tonight, and who it's going to be is a lot to think about. So, with that said, we get to the votes. Peter votes for Patricia, even though he likes her and thinks she deserves to stay, but it's all about tribe strength. We get Sarah, who votes for Peter, who thinks that he seems like a nice guy, but she feels like that he's just playing this game too strong. And then we got Sean, who votes for Sarah, who thinks that she's a weak link and that he doesn't want to be around Cleopatra anymore. So it's those three people that got votes in this camp, in this tribe. Now, Sarah received 2 votes from Sean and Vesepia. Patricia received 1 vote from Peter. And with 5 votes, the first person voted out Survivor Marquesas, Peter Harkley, the bowling manager, the bowling alley owner. Peter is the first person voted out of his tribe, and he should have taken this game as a more fun opportunity rather than a game where it's just playing $1 million, trying to win $1 million. And Peter does take notice of that. He remembers that his wife was saying that he should not take himself too seriously and have a lot of fun out there, which he definitely should have listened. But he's glad that he got to meet his tribe members and really happy that he got to go on this once-in-a-lifetime adventure, and it's something that he'll never forget. So, good on you, Peter, for knowing that. But we're now down 7 on Mariamu, and row 2 still has 8 strong. Will Mariamu be able to pick it up and hopefully make a comeback, or row 2 will be able to take Mariamu one by one as if they were the next Pagong? I don't know why I said Pagong, like it was like clucking like a chicken, like Pagong! Like, what the heck? But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. So we started Survivor Marquesas now, season 4. I can't believe it. We're 4 seasons in now. Glad to be watching this season. We get to see how Boston Rob got his start and how he does in this game, and how we'll see it continue, and who will be the front runners, who will be the ones who will be seen as the winklings, and who will be those people who don't find themselves winning in the end. Only time will tell. But again, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed being outclassed, outsmarted, and outspoken with the Survivor Savant podcast. This is Nathan Newport signing out. See you guys.